Welcome back to What She Said Sports. It is Janola Girl. All right. So y'all have seen the video. You have seen the Twitch stream. You know Shedeur, the grown QB, has a grateful heart. And it oftentimes it shows. And what you see on your screen here is just one of the many clips here that shows you the impact that he has on the younger audience. But this time he was in Cleveland, and the local Cleveland news has made it a point to tell us about the act of kindness, of generosity that Shedeur Sanders is displaying to some of the most vulnerable citizens in Cleveland, right? We have an area that is economically disadvantaged. There was a fire. A young man who they describe as a hero lost his life trying to save two of his stepchildren, but he perished. Shedeur was out of town when he heard about the event. And he goes on to say, I was away when I heard it, but I knew as soon as I got back, I wanted to do something. And yes, you can just give money, but I wanted to be there in the flesh. You have to be there in the flesh sometimes. And I totally agree, right? There are many people who can give money. Now, I don't know much about Cleveland. If you know the area, you can let me know. What is the city of Cleveland, the mayor, city council people, what are they doing to help out? Shedeur decided to not just dig deep into his own pockets, right? But to give up his time. See, time is precious. And it shows you who he is if he's willing to take the time to just bring joy to the lives of children, adults who are in a situation that they didn't cause and that they likely can't change right away. He's comfortable in any environment. It proves that. There were people online saying, should he have gone there? He even talks about people didn't want him to go, but that he still chose to go, right? I'm like, why on earth would people not want him to go and help this community? Just smile today. See, I told y'all myself, right? I do not like to see children suffer at all. And I know y'all are thinking, well, Miss Nola, nobody does. That's not true. That's not true. Because this event happened at the end of June, right? There were other athletes in the area. There are other organizations in the area. See, there's a group of people in our society, and some of them are children because they're economically challenged, disadvantaged for whatever reason, whether they're born into poverty. Children can't change their position if they're born into poverty. And Shedeur has the grateful heart. He's not from Cleveland. He don't know these people personally. He doesn't really know the area. He just heard about it and was like, hey, it's a lot of kids involved. So what did I see, right? I saw a young man do what he always does, bring joy to people he don't know, people that may or may not know him. It doesn't matter, right? I saw him give up his time, right? We saw him do something he's done over and over. And there's one community he genuinely likes to embrace, and that is children. So we saw food trucks. I saw cornhole. I saw legendary t-shirts, legendary cornhole. He had his brand out there. Now, I don't even know if he was allowed to have any Cleveland stuff, but this was an initiative of his own. So he had his own brand, the very brand that the NFL tried to disown him about. The very brand that embraces the next generation of NFL fans. You think the NFL would love that, right? These are all kids that go to camps, that go to school, that likely will play sports. Crickets. Crickets from Brown's media. Crickets. So it should tell you with each passing day, no matter how grown or grateful this young man is, right? No matter how skilled and talented he is. Like Shedeur said, time will tell. Time is telling. With each passing day, we see he's being held back. Not because he's not talented. Not because they really think he truly is entitled. Because they don't want this young man who can likely take Cleveland further than they probably have ever been, or just as close as Jaden Daniels took Washington. They want to stop this young man from progress, from succeeding. So much so that they talked about speeding tickets without even talking about, oh my God, his awareness is likely waning because he's so stressed out. Look at how he was humiliated in the draft, right? They don't talk about that. They want to find anything minuscule, the size of lint, to hold this young man back, to justify holding him back from QB1. So they're crickets. They don't want to highlight he's a good person. They don't want to highlight he's been impacting the youth in Cleveland since he arrived. Remember, he went to, was it John Marshall High School? I think it was John Marshall High School or middle school. And the Cleveland media wanted to know what? Why is he recording it? As if they don't know how social media works. As if they don't know social media is a marketing tool, but yet they are on social media trying to market using his name. So they're picking and choosing what they want to say about this young man. And they're oftentimes sifting out the positive to only talk about the negative. For people to tell him not to go out there is an epic failure. For the NFL to sit back, the Cleveland Browns to sit back and not do anything as an organization, and any other sports team, that when these kids who grow up in a system like Miami Northwestern High School, where Teddy Bridgewater had to go deep in his pocket and help out, when those kids make it despite the odds, these teams are going to line up to profit from their talent. And if they choose to play quarterback, they're going to be ostracized like Shedeur Sanders. So I have a question on the screen. What does Shedeur Sanders Fun Fest to bring joy to the most vulnerable in Cleveland say to you? Drop the comments into the chat and let me know, and we'll read the comments on what people are saying. Now, y'all know we have a voicemail number. We have a What She Said phone, the bat phone. I'm going to give out the number, and you can call us and leave us a voicemail, and we may use it on tonight's podcast and share your sentiment, your thoughts about Shedeur Sanders choosing to take the time to bring joy to the most vulnerable in Cleveland. All right, so I'm going to share the number. When I figure it out, share the number with you guys, and y'all can just leave us a voicemail. We may choose to share it on air. The number is 470-471-6721. So if somebody wants to type it in the chat, feel free. 470-471-6721. Leave us a voicemail on the question, the topic of the day. What does Shedeur Sanders Fun Fest, designed to bring joy, just a bit of joy, to the most vulnerable in Cleveland say to you? I'm sure with an apartment fire, there are people that are displaced. Again, they're kids, right? It's summertime. It's hot. It's still Cleveland, but it's probably still hot. And he can't change their life overnight, right? But he can bring a bit of joy. So he took the time, made the effort to be there in person. No Cleveland Browns, no Cleveland sports teams, no other Cleveland, this, that, and the other. He's also contributing to the community because why? He had face painting artists out there. There were games and rides, right? There were food trucks. So all of that he had to purchase with his capital, with his money. So there are people that are benefiting from this, and they chose to make the time to receive the blessing. And what are they doing? Just giving back to the kids. This is not new for Shedeur. This is not the last time you will see anything like this, but he shouldn't have been the only one. This is an indictment on the Cleveland Browns, right? This is an indictment that they don't care about the community because they couldn't take the time. They could host a camp, but they couldn't take the time to come out. And the media is crickets. The Cleveland Browns aids and abets the media. And they're crickets. How do you think the media knows if Kevin Stefanski likes Dylan Gabriel, that's his preference? How do you think the Cleveland Browns media knows? How do you think they know these things? That Andrew Berry wants to draft somebody next year. What, you think they just figured it out? No. The Cleveland Browns feed the Cleveland Browns media and they're quiet. So do you think there was a text? Don't talk about that. But then when there was some parking tickets, some speeding tickets, yeah, talk about that. Talk about that. Why do you think they all have the same stance on Quinshon Judkins? So this young man, as they were trying to mock him in the draft, the grown QB wants to get his full pie, but he ended up with nothing more than an uncooked Pop-Tart. But yet he took that uncooked Pop-Tart money and went to serve and bring joy to the most vulnerable in Cleveland. And that same grown QB was made to be the butt of a joke at the ESPYs by somebody who thinks they're funny, Shane Gillis, right? Shedeur wasn't the topic of conversation at the ESPYs, but they like to use him for clickbait, making fun of his jerseys retired at CU, but his record is what it is, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, so you don't think he was humiliated enough in the draft? You want to come to the ESPYs and do it. Stephen A. Smith should be ducking under a desk for the next 30 days for allowing and likely authorizing Shedeur to be dragged that way. He was already humiliated in the draft, but that's not enough. I guess they see him getting over it, getting past it, thriving, surviving. So what do they want to do? Humiliate him some more, as if the Cleveland Browns media didn't do it. Now Shane Gillis wants to take a turn to exploit Shedeur as the butt of his jokes. Shane Gillis also took a shot at Black women at the benefit of Caitlin Clark to say she was going to the Waffle House and she's going to end up fighting Black women, but J.C. Sheldon is white. So the tinge of racism that was on display at the ESPYs to humiliate a young Black man that was already publicly humiliated in front of 7.3 million people, exploited for views again and mocked again. And he does nothing but good. When this young man said he was a child of God, he was not lying. And we see it. Time will tell. Time is telling. It's telling. You could see it. Right? So for the people that didn't want him to go out there, he went anyway. He said God put it on his heart to do it, and he gonna always listen to that. And you know why he should? Because that's what's got him as far as he has gotten in a toxic environment in the NFL. That's why he chooses to listen as he should. And they still mock him. That's evil. That's what people don't understand. That is what you call evil behavior. To try to kick a man when you think he's down, or try to kick a man who was already kicked down. You see him get back up and you want to kick him down some more. Shane Gillis, ESPN, the ESPYs. I don't know who they thought their jokes were funny to. Maybe the audience that they want to attract, the same audience that they want to hold back Black quarterbacks for.
I was out of town, so I was like, nah, the first thing I do when I get back definitely come to the community. I could tell everybody's vibe out here is down to earth. So a lot of people that didn't want me coming out here doing it, but I don't understand why. You know, God told me come out here, so I'm never gonna question His word. It's definitely just get active and actually do it. You know, sending money and stuff, that's easy, but you have to actually go out there and be in the flesh. You know, I feel like that's more impactful. When when
He was
everything
out there.
transpired, I was out of town, so I was like, nah.
He was there bringing joy. Did you see the kids? There was one scene where he was playing football with the kids. They will never forget that. Listen to the stories like Jason Tatum talk about when he first met LeBron James. And look at where Jason Tatum is. These moments are impactful. He's not just doing good that's going to have a temporary effect. It's going to have a lasting effect that somebody that looks like him came over to make them smile. He didn't sell them anything. He didn't ask them for anything. He just wanted to bring joy. And this is who the NFL tears down. This is who they want to play keep away with QB1. This is who they humiliated in front of 7.3 million people. But you don't see one Cleveland Brown person, media out there. Not one. What does it tell you? Answer the question. Leave us a voicemail. The number is in the chat. 470-471. Let me look at the last 4 digits. What is it? 6721. 470-471-6721. Leave us a voicemail. Honestly, we want to share it on our next podcast or one of our upcoming podcasts. This is something I want to try so people can hear y'all's voice, hear your inflection, hear your passion, hear your concern, hear your happiness, right? So this is something we want to try. What does Shedeur Sanders Fun Fest to bring joy to the most vulnerable in Cleveland say to you? You know what? I'm going to tell you what it says to me. That he has a grateful heart, that he's genuine, that he doesn't listen when people try to, oh, you shouldn't go over there. That's an impoverished area. That he's not going to take on that typical mentality that seems to be rampant in the NFL of individualism. He's not going to turn his back on his community. Shame on the Cleveland Browns. They should have been sending forces over there too. Oh, Shedeur going over there? That's our QB1. Okay, that's our QB4 because we don't want him to be QB1. So that's our QB5. He's not even on the depth chart. But go over there with him. No. That's what we supporting. We're supporting people that want to destroy goodness. We're supporting people that want to tear down greatness. We're supporting people. The Cleveland fan base is supporting people who want to destroy good character, who want to hold back winning, so what is the point? What is the point? To just build a dome stadium because you can? Or is it to when you get inside, win? Time is telling. This young man is too good for the Cleveland Browns. If you ask me, he's too good for the NFL. That's just how I feel. Today, y'all know I keep the television on in the background. The Big Three popped up in my feed. I watched it or listened because I'm multitasking. And I said, this is what needs to happen for the NFL. The Big Three has sponsorships all over the place. It has grown. I was like, oh, I wonder if they come into Atlanta. They don't play in Atlanta. That's a topic for another day because I have no idea why. They go to places like Chicago, Dallas, Orlando. I think they had a championship here one time near us in Nashville. Hopefully, I looked to see what a championship was going to be. I think people are getting tired. I think people are starting to catch on, right? See, a lot of people that want to revive Jim Crow. There are a lot of people that are supporting turning your back on your community. I'm not with it. It makes it hard for me to get excited about this NFL season. I saw a post that said 50 days until the NFL. It felt like dread. It felt like dread. So I'm like, I got to muster up the energy to pay attention to the Cleveland Browns. Hold off as long as possible just so I can learn about this young man. So I go to his social media. I follow his Twitch. I don't want to hear what the Browns have to say because they have proven what? To be biased against this young man. Take a listen.
We didn't necessarily expect. We obviously spent a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the process. He's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket. Very productive college career, and we felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select two quarterbacks, but as we talked about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the fifth round. Like he was a good, solid prospect at the most important position. We felt like it got to a point where he was probably mispriced, relative to the draft. Really the acquisition cost was pretty light, and it's a guy that we think can outproduce his draft.
I've spent a lot of time with Shedeur. We know what he's about. He's coming in here to work just like all of our other players.
We view him as a highly accurate pocket passer. He does a really good job of protecting the ball. He has enough of the physical characteristics, whether it's arm strength or mobility. Like all young players, there are things to improve. I think probably much has been said about the number of sacks.
Okay, so once again, Kevin Stefanski threw Andrew Berry under the bus right here. Andrew Berry was going on talking in circles about Shedeur Sanders being priced too high for the first round. We didn't expect him to still be there, so we weren't planning to take two quarterbacks, but we do take the best person available. Now, you also heard him say multiple times, what? We spent a lot of time with Shedeur. They pre-draft extensively with this young man, right? What did Kevin Stefanski say? We spent a lot of time with Shedeur. We know exactly who he is. Andrew Berry said, we spent a lot of time with Shedeur. We know exactly what he's about. Those are two different things. This young man is in a toxic environment. His awareness was waning. He's moved past it. His support system, his family, his internet aunties, CU aunties, some aunties are Jackson State aunties, so we say internet aunties. Trinity high school aunties, his immediate support, his family, his mom, his dad, his friends, players, people he know. He probably has 10,000 contacts in his phone or his phones. Kept him, right? God covered him, sent all those people to cover him. But this is the environment he has to go into, one that doesn't see his value all of a sudden. An environment where if you don't play quarterback, I might be okay with your domestic violence. But if you play quarterback, I'm going to stick the media on you and talk about your speeding tickets. This young man was in a toxic environment. The break came at the right time. Time will tell. Time will tell, and it's telling. So for people like us, we have to muster up the energy to support Shedeur through his time in a toxic environment, which means we have to listen to lies. We have to listen to more lies. We have to listen to bias. We have to listen to slander. We have to listen to defamation. That's what it means for fans of Shedeur Sanders. Because we want to support him, we will dare not waver and allow him to falter in a toxic environment. Why is the environment toxic? Because he's the best quarterback in the draft. He's the most NFL ready quarterback that came into the draft, and they have devalued his skill set, who he is as a person, his career earnings, all of it. All of it. So that's what we have to do. So again, you see a question on the screen. What does it say to you that Shedeur Sanders chose to bring joy to the most vulnerable citizens in Cleveland? So we get ready to read your answers. I really love this kid. Every time I see something about him, that's the first thing that I say. I love this kid. Too bad the NFL doesn't. Too bad Cleveland doesn't. And that's the reality, right? That's the reality. No matter how good he is, no matter, how talented he is, the general manager and the coach, will devalue him. So let's see what y'all are saying. Good afternoon. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Hey, No Limit Soldier, how you doing? Thank you so much. Reality checks. So glad you are covering this. Absolutely. 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 It seems like Cleveland just ignored the Black community. That must be what it is, because that's insane that one young man who's not from Cleveland. So none of these athletes across all of these leagues, I don't care if they got hockey, if they have baseball, if they have football, if they have basketball, none of these other players saw fit to show up for the most vulnerable people in the community and just bring a bit of joy for a few hours. None of these people, besides Shedeur, who, by the way, did not come from this environment, but there are many that did. None of them saw fit to see what he's doing and show up, or to have the idea, or to work together, or to take the baton from him and do it the next day or the next week until these people get back in their homes. These are kids. That is an indictment on the NFL and every other league and these other Black players. I know we're not expecting other communities to show up, because that's not how it works for us, right? But see, that's the mentality that's definitely been ingrained in these professional athletes, especially the NFL. Turn your back on your community. What did we just talk about yesterday? We talked about Kai Cenat linking up with Target while we in the middle of a what? And who did he go get? The very unsuspecting. Or at least that's what we like to think. Travis Hunter. All the good we want to do, they want to use you, and you like, okay. Community. That's why so many of them sign the contracts that we showed with that language yesterday. Shout out to Shedeur Stewart, who has, along with the other 31 people, until August 5th to sign his contract. Shout out to Salafi. Thank you for the article. I appreciate the knowledge. Thank you. I don't know if you want me to give you a crown, but I'm a salute. So, Shedeur Stewart. And then what did we say? Raekwon Smith in 2018, Chicago Bears. And I said, does Raekwon Smith still play in the NFL? And the answer that people provided in the chats, and somebody came back in the comments and said, yes. Not only did he challenge his contract, they came to a compromise about that language. And he's still in the NFL, and he signed an extension. So you know what that tells you? All along, you had the right to challenge that contract. But so many just sign it and keep it pushing. And then they want to know why. Well, why did this happen? Or why I didn't get paid this? Because you didn't read your contract. Why are you just okay with signing anything? And now we at a point where it's starting to bottleneck at the top. The language in the contract. People say they holding out. First of all, they still act like it's just Shamar Stewart. Wow, daily, other people who were still holding out in the first round are still silently signing their contracts. It's not just Shamar Stewart. It's not just the second round. There were other first round holdouts, and they have until August 5th. And it's not about guaranteed contracts. It's about the language. And it's likely about guaranteed contracts. It's about multiple things. It's not just one person. It's not just the second round. It's not just guarantees. It's not just the language. It's about the way the NFL does business. That's what it's about. Isn't that what the $100 million lawsuit is about? The way the NFL does business. So they have until August 5th. And if they don't sign with the club that drafted them, and they don't have to, they can't get traded before the next draft so they can re-enter the 2026 draft. I'm taking my butt back to school. Y'all got any room up there? Because if you good, they're going to make room, right? This is a victory. It's a victory because it brings awareness to the way the the NFL does business. It also brings awareness that there are too many people in the NFL that have melanin that should be standing up for themselves, looking for a compromise or some fairness. But they just willing to sign and go and stand against their community and stand silent about, one, the way their brother was treated in the draft, and two, refuse to pop up and show up when he goes and helps out. And that could be one of the reasons why too many people try to dissuade him from going. They had police everywhere. He has security. He always had security. But in addition to security, yes, he had police, and he should, because he's not from there. But one thing about it, he gonna always be good there. That's facts. He gonna be good wherever he go in Cleveland. And that is important. You know, people want to talk down on the hood. One thing about it. If you not naive and you smart enough and you genuine and you see who's who, they gonna love you and they gonna make sure you good. I'm from New Orleans. Anybody will tell you a lot of the crime happens in those places because it's dark and nobody's paying attention. It's not the people that live there. Shedeur not even from this environment, and he went. That's what stands out to me. And it tells me that's why some people didn't want him going, because they didn't want to go. It's an indictment on them that they didn't give a damn about the children. Everything that was out there, face painting, popsicles, the little cute little roly thing I saw going, the little bounce housey thing. All of that was for the kids. So you don't even care about the kids. That's why I love this kid. That's why he has 3 million followers. That's why he sold $250 million in jerseys and gonna do it again. And if they switch him off to the 2 to try to exploit it for more sales, we still gonna buy it. This is why we support him, but they don't understand it. What did the reporter say in Cleveland when he first got there? Why do people like you? Are you paying attention, sir? Are you paying attention, sir? This is why people like Shedeur. This is not new for Shedeur. He did the same type of taking his time in Colorado. There was a kid being bullied up at the school. They all went up there. Coach Prime instills this in his players. This is Coach Prime's son. This is an indictment on the NFL and the other Black players. And no, I don't expect no other community to show up if they want to. Thank you. But I do expect Black players to stop doing what the hell it is you're doing and join him and stop dissuading him from caring about people that look like you. And he not from that environment, and too many of y'all are. That's an indictment. That when you decided to sign that goddamn contract without reading, you decided not to give a damn about your community, and that's why they like you. You want to know why they like you? That's why they like you. You want to know why they turn their head the other way when you're not a Black quarterback and you get in trouble and locked up and they say, come on back, come on back, come on back, because you lost your guarantees. That's why they look the other way. He is a quarterback. He's not supposed to give a damn about his community. but he gonna do it anyway. And that's why they don't like it. That's why they don't like it. People want to drop all these videos on why they don't like Shedeur Sanders, because he's not gonna turn his back on his community. That's why. That's why. That's why they don't like it. They don't want him to be the face of the league because he give a damn about people with melanin. He give a damn about Black kids. That's why. They don't want him using his money to help better Black youth to get to the next level. They just want y'all to fight it out at the bottom and only the what did they say? Survival of the fittest. And then they want to exploit them when they get there and hold them back from being quarterback. That's why they don't like it. People want to know, why do they hate on him so much? Because they know he's good. What did Andrew Berry say? We know what Shedeur is about. We spent time with him extensively. So that's what you're going to support this season. You're going to show up in this damn stadium that they don't even want no more, even though they horrible, to support a toxic organization who has a revolving door of ruining quarterbacks. And the blacker, the worse it is. The more melanin, the worse it is. The optics. I said it. That's why they don't like it. Because he's willing to get out there and do good for the community. They knew that already, just like we did. They don't want him to be the face of the Cleveland. I saw a little snippet of the news showing their stadium because they fighting about the new stadium and they fighting about leaving Cleveland. And I guess the video panned to the stadium, and I saw a photo of Deshaun Watson on the side. I was like, I wonder if they're going to push Shedeur up there. And I wonder, when was this? Because they took a big swing and missed with him. So I'm thinking this must be old footage. Exploitation. That's all they want. I'm going to put your Black face over here on the side. But I'm going to drag you and burn your name in effigy every day. To let people know, I don't respect you. I'm using you. Exploitation. Cleveland media is the same way. They don't have nothing good to say about Shedeur. I'm not talking about the local news. I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns media. But they exploit him for clicks on their little poultry struggling channels. Exploitation. That's all you're good for in their eyes. So y'all want to know, since y'all making videos on why they don't like Shedeur Sanders? Because he gives a damn about the Black community. Because he gives a damn about Black youth. That's why. It seems like Cleveland just ignores the Black community. It wouldn't surprise me because I saw people in the comments asking, where's the mayor? Where's this person? Where's that person? See, we live in the climate that we live in. People don't want you to give a damn about nobody, but who they want you to give a damn about. And it's not young Black youth. It's not. And it's not older Black people. It's not. It's not Black people in general. They don't want you helping people that look like you. Reminder, melanin is 10,000 American dollars per ounce. Now you should understand why there's so much effort at painting a negative picture of you and instilling self-hate. Now you understand why Ryan Clark walked back his speech about RG3, because they would rather you be RG3 than Ryan Clark. It says, Shedeur Sanders Fun Fest tells me that this young man is a stand-up human being. Facts. Tina said something to me today. She said via email, she said, this has nothing to do with sports. It was about something else, and it involved humanity. The first thing I thought, and I responded to her and said, well, that's what the NFL is lacking. Humanity. So it's perfect. Thank you for sending it. Thank you for sending it. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte, for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. It helps us. We're going to get to the next level. Somebody asked me, what did I want for this channel? And at the time, I didn't know, but I'm starting to figure it out. Yes, it can start out as a hobby. It can start out as a passion. But for me, it can turn into something else. And I think I'm on my way. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please keep doing so because we're going to get to the next level together. When I think about this channel and, you know, how I see things or whatever, I look at what's going on with Shedeur. You know what that does? It level sets my expectations. Everybody not going to support you. Some people going to stay in the background. They're not going to hit the like button. They're not going to subscribe. They're going to come to your channel and watch. They're going to take what you made. They're not going to give you credit for it. They're not going to mention you. They're not going to talk about you. And no matter how much you do, some people will not support you because they don't want you to succeed. So the lessons that he is learning, that I see what he's going through, I see it too. And a lot of people do. Shedeur is relatable. As wealthy as he is, he's relatable. And that's lost on a lot of people that are wealthy. They're not relatable. That's why he has so many supporters. He's relatable. His struggle is relatable. So what they did to hurt him brought more people to him. That's what. That's exactly what. He's relatable. They want you to feel like when you get to the NFL, I don't want you to be relatable to your community. You're wealthy. You're not like them. But all the while, you're being whipped into submission. You're worse off than they are. You just haven't figured it out yet. They know why people like him, with all the media attention CU has gotten right. And for a reporter to look Shedeur in the face and ask, why do people like you? I'm like, so y'all don't watch no social media. You don't know what it is. You don't know how to use it, but you out here stomping for clicks, using his good name. So what is it? Jeremiah 29:11. What they did, how they pushed him down, how we watched him get back up, shows people who didn't know Shedeur. Not that he's strong, not that he's resilient, he's relatable. So thank you. I thought to myself, as ugly as this was with the draft, the way they tried to lie, they just flat out lying about who he is. There's no need to dress it up. No need to dress up bias. No need to. No need to dress up discrimination. No need to dress up collusion. No need to dress up racism. They lying. Yeah, it's defamation in a court of law, but on the street, it's a lie. They are flat out lying about this quarterback, this starting quarterback, this year one, the best quarterback in the draft, the most NFL-ready quarterback in the draft. So you, as fans, don't support him and ask to see him because he's the best. Why would I be lying to you if I could just do what I want to do and it have no consequences? Because it's going to have consequences. Time will tell. Shedeur is unapologetically Black, and they hate that. There you go. Who gets the crown of the day? Peter. Let's go, Peter. I don't know if you want it, but salute, because I know you're a guy. That's it. That's why they don't like Angel Reese either. I thought about it. I said, Angel Reese and Shedeur Sanders are both in leagues that are dominated by Black people, right? But you have non-Black people who are trying to control the optics, doing what they have always done to suppress Black people from rising in a league dominated by Black people. That is the cheekiest shit I have ever heard of. You not the majority. So you gonna cherry pick one person who's not that talented, not as talented as the rest, and put them out front because that's who you want to see. That is the cheekiest shit ever. So when the big three popped up in my feed, you know what I said? I hope he don't sell out because he's going to keep elevating. He has, and I'm talking about Ice Cube, and his father was side, and Michael Beasley was playing in the game. I'm like, wait a minute, is this the same Michael Beasley from the NBA? I had to quickly go and research. Yeah, that was him. He got let go from the NBA, and they wanted to talk about the $40 million he didn't make. He just won a game with big three, and people are sitting around cheering. Whatever's going on with him, he might have a gambling problem. Maybe they should have helped him. But it don't matter. because who they pushed out and deemed trash, he's helping to grow the NBA audience, because maybe the people in that audience are like, he's human, something happened. Y'all don't have Gamblers Anonymous? And I'm like, this is why the NBA is struggling. And I see they got the first level. Well, a lot of the seats are. It's filled up. It's sold out. Now I want to watch. I will watch because it feels like a breath of fresh air, because I know the league is owned by somebody black. I see the players are black, and they're letting people play basketball. They're not taking that one white guy on the floor because he's white and putting him out front and lying and saying he's the best when he's good too, but there are other people that are better. That's what Angel Reese and Shedeur Sanders are going through. They are unapologetically black in a league dominated by black people that white people have some holding into, whether it's owning the teams, whether they have jobs as executives, trying to hold back the black talent. So we, the black fans, don't see it. That we don't think that they're the best. That's the cheekiest shit ever, bro. This is competitive sports. If you want to manipulate something, go find a damn beauty pageant. This is competitive sports. We are sports fans. If you like basketball, you're going to watch a Big 3 game. You're going to watch an amateur game. You're going to watch good basketball. I don't care who's playing. You could be on vacation in Fiji. If they got a basketball game, you're going to want to pop in and see what's going on. That's what sports fans do. I'm a sports fan. I watched the Big 3 for the first time ever today, and it was refreshing. It looked like they were just playing basketball. It didn't look like they were trying to curate a racial agenda. I'm sick of that. And Cleveland is the worst organization for Shedeur to be in. But it's the best organization for him to be in. For him to see that God got him. For him to step back and let God lead. For him to know without a doubt that God wants him there. So when it gets tough, keep going. So while it's a horrible organization from a business perspective and what we think is career, time will tell what God will do with Shedeur in Cleveland. Said they know why people like him. With all the media attention CU had gotten when he was there, they know, right? And so that's how you know they lying. That's how you know they lying. You're going to send this reporter over here and allow him to antagonize Shedeur Sanders. That's what I don't like about the Cleveland Browns media. They get a license to antagonize these players. Same thing in the NFL. And now you know why they don't do anything about it. We've learned enough about the NFL to see that the Players Association leads are in cahoots and colluding with the owners, which is not what it should be. We have also realized that they work together, so there's no competition. The only competition is supposed to be taking place on the field, but if I read the talent before the season starts, is it really competitive? This young man grew up wealthy, but he is relatable anywhere he goes. He will not turn his back on his community. That's why they don't like him. Same go for Angel Reese. Right now, it's black versus white at this point when it comes to Shedeur. I even said it. They've been hating on Jalen Hurts. I have a photo. I'm going to share it tonight when we go live at 9:30. We're going to talk about that. I love the way Jalen Hurts moves. See, I know enough about Jalen Hurts and black culture to know that Jalen Hurts got a work self and a private self, as we all likely do, especially if you work in corporate America. You don't mix your personal with your work self. Them two different people. And they have to be, right? Because we're expected to conform. We're not expected to come to work and be free. They feel like that in the NFL. See, a lot of people didn't think it was like that. They figure because these guys are making millions that they're allowed to be free. Oh, further from the truth. The most restrictive language I've seen in a contract was that last night. And what's more baffling is the fact that there are people, as of 2018, that challenged it and went on to be successful and get to the next level with that 5-year guarantee, right? A 5-year contract extension. But more people are still not challenging it. That is why the NFL bullies them like they do. People do what you allow. I told y'all the Cleveland Browns not going to be able to play and mistreat Shedeur like they did. What's his name? Kaiser. What was his name? Deshaun Kaiser. What they did to the young man is awful. And if you go back and look at the timeline of where things were happening, you can maybe kind of figure out why Cleveland was making some of the moves that they have. I don't think they have a good track record with black quarterbacks. Not just him. And they love to talk about Deshaun, but they don't talk about Deshaun Kaiser. But guess who did? Coach Prime. Now y'all know why Deshaun Watson say he's going to take Shedeur under his wing. You see, they didn't want that. Yeah, they didn't want that. They don't want them talking. I don't know how you thrive in an environment you ain't even supposed to talk to nobody else black and learn from them. They just want you to be a walking idiot and be broke by the time this is over with, at least the next year or two afterwards. Because the goal is just to exploit you. Them contracts ought to tell you that. But what's baffling is they just will not. They just don't seem to get together and challenge it. And all they talk about is Shedeur Stewart. They lie every day. It's not just Shedeur Stewart. They want to make the problem seem like it's not what it is. I don't know how they do it. And I don't know what they're doing it for because they don't have nothing to show for it afterwards. Too many of them don't. Most get 2.5, 3 years. Do they even make it to the retirement package? Is that retirement package the reason why a lot of these black quarterbacks won't turn around and sue? People keep asking me, do I think that the Sanders have a case because of what happened with Shedeur in the draft? You goddamn right. You damn right they do. He does, for sure. But he going the path that he's supposed to go. But yes, unequivocally, without a doubt. I would have liked to have seen it. Because they ask you what you want when you're suing somebody. I want this young man to have equity, 51% equity in the Cleveland Browns. That's what I want him to have. You ask me. There you go. That's the only way you're going to change things is change the ownership. It says, Shedeur did a lot for the kids in Jackson, Mississippi. That's why everyone loved him in Shiloh. They came at a time Jackson was really bad. It was a cultural shock because JSU is right there in the hood. Yes, it is. And I have been there and I was surprised. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting this. And it's isolated too. JSU, in my opinion, hell, Tuskegee is isolated. Prairie View is isolated. Well, maybe that's something we need to look into. Alabama State is not though. They in the middle. They like it's I wouldn't call it the city, but they're not isolated. Tuskegee's isolated, Prairie View's isolated, TSU's in the city. Yeah. So yeah, JSU's isolated. I was surprised. I was like, damn, y'all back here by yourself. And you know, JSU loves Shedeur and Shiloh. They do. They might be people who mad because Coach Prime left. And I told you some of them got abandonment issues, like their daddy walked out the door and told their mama they weren't coming back. But that's not what it was. They're not being realistic about some of the things that took place. Right. I started to kind of feel that the NFL was sending a message. Now, this could not be true. This just something I noticed. I noticed that somebody from Alabama A&M was drafted before Shedeur. Now, remember, Shedeur was supposed to fall out the bottom, so I don't think this was a plan. But I think the message that was being sent was you could have stayed at JSU. Because there are people that felt like Coach Prime left so Shedeur could win the Heisman, that he would never win the Heisman at CU. But I don't think that because he knew he had Travis. He know how they do him. He raised his son to understand they're going to try to hold you back because you were Sanders. So I don't think it was that. I really don't think it would surprise me if that's why some people did what they did. But again, I don't think he thought Shedeur would win the Heisman. I think he knew that Travis would have a damn good shot at it because Travis was a two-way player. Coach Prime knows the reality of quarterbacks in the NFL. I think what caught Coach Prime off guard, and I'm just being honest here, they lured him in when they had him on that stage. Super Bowl weekend, Shedeur, Bucky, all in the rooms. They made him seem like family, and they just brought him into a closed space and stabbed him in the back and the front until it was over with. That's what they did. They lured them in. Again, that's not a new tactic, right? Luring people away so you can upend their life. That's what they did. That's evil. I keep telling y'all, this the kind of evil that feeds black babies to alligators. It's the same kind of evil. It's the same kind of evil. And a lot of these people were around at the time when schools were segregated. Many of us were not, but many of them were. And y'all see some of these people in these photos. Some of these people were the reasons that the National Guard had to come out and let little black kids go to school. That kind of evil. That's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with. See, they was being quiet after Kaepernick. They was being quiet after George Floyd. But see, they believe they have license now to be bold with it. That's why Shane Gillis at the ESPYs. Oh, we're not going to get no reprimand. There are no consequences for this. But that's also what got Shedeur drafted. They thought it was no consequences, but there were. And now they got to figure out what to do from here. And it's kind of late because his fan base has shown up. $250 million for one jersey that's divided amongst 32 teams. The media, the social media, not the talking heads that aid and abet. I'm talking about fans that pay to go to the games, that go back and tell everything that's happening, including his 3 million fans are watching and not just silently talking about it, holding the Cleveland Browns accountable. So time will tell. Exploitation for Nielsen ratings. Yeah, we're going to see. Now, see, they knew in the draft they could use him to get ratings. Hell, they didn't want that either. See, that tells you how evil this is. I don't want to make no money off of you. I don't give a damn. You're not going to be a starting quarterback because I'm not going to have the majority of my starting quarterbacks to be black. And you don't hear nobody on those media desks even talking about, is this a possibility why Shedeur was pushed down late? Is this why Cam is competing and he was the number 1 pick overall and we don't even hear about him? And is this why they think Miro is not going to be a starting quarterback for 2 years because they think they have him buried on the depth chart? That's common sense. You don't even hear the media speaking common sense and asking about that because they've been told not to. If you think the language we reviewed yesterday with those player contracts are restrictive, I would love to see a contract for the media to be able to come into the locker rooms. I want to see what they have to do, what they have to say, what they can't say, what they only have to talk about, what they can't point out. I would love to see it. Because I know it has some language. And they better not try to gaslight us and say, why isn't Shedeur visiting the white youth? They ain't going to do that. They ain't going to do that. It might be 1 or 2 idiots, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because they don't even want to talk about the subject at all. Jungle say you target on everything about Shedeur and why they don't like him. That's why they don't like him. I saw so many. I refuse to watch a video talking about why they don't like Shedeur. I'm like, I got better things to do with my time. This is why they don't like it. And none of those videos talked about that. They just wanted to paint him in a bad light. You're welcome, Tina. Thank you. 400 Circle Media. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yep, Peter. Thank you for the crown. Right. So y'all good with the crowns either way, male or female. All right, cool. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it is, right? We 10 toes down with this young man because I love this kid. I was thinking about, I would give me a t-shirt that say I love this kid and put him on it because that's how I feel. I love this kid, man. He is such a good kid. And it sickens me on how they lie on him. for the sole purposes of not having the majority of their starting quarterbacks to be Black. That's all it is. Time will tell. All right, so I'm going to keep reading some comments. Don't forget, y'all can call in and leave a voicemail, and we're going to play it on one of our future podcasts about today's topic. And if we're going to do it again, we're going to pick a topic and we're going to choose somebody's voicemail to share on air, and then we'll discuss it. Hey, Kiel, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you so much, Kiel. I appreciate it. You know, I plan my topics, but I don't know what I'm always saying. But if you went to grad school with me, you are not surprised. And my grad school was not Black. So, you know, this is par for the course for me. I got to speak the truth. So, you just, you know, it just is what it is, you know. We all saw that he did a good thing. I want to talk about why nobody else is talking about it, right? Why nobody else is talking about it. Both MLB and NFL executives hated on Prime his whole career for playing both sports at the highest level. I don't believe modern contracts allow a two-sport split since Prime. Wow. You know, the MLB is really active with recruiting HBCU players. Now, I wanted to I only have 2 eyes, so I can only see so much. But if I win the lottery, I'm going to just say it. If I win the lottery, I'm going to have somebody covering baseball. I'm going to have somebody covering hockey. I'm going to have somebody covering football, the NFL. I'm going to have somebody covering basketball, the big 3, included with the NBA. And we're going to talk, and the producers is going to put it all together because, hell, NASCAR. Now, you know, I follow Roger Caruth and LeVar Scott, the 2 NASCAR, but I see other people now starting to show love. People are starting to go to the NASCAR races. I want to go to a NASCAR race. We want to go somewhere where we feel welcome. And what has happened to these hockey leagues in the past is people have died off in terms of interest, and now they're drafting Black hockey players, and that's supposed to draw us in, and it likely will, right? Because we getting tired of the NFL, right? And then that's why I know there will be a day. There will be a day that the NFL is going to be like Major League Baseball. These players going to have guaranteed contracts. The majority of the players still going to be Black. And the NFL is going to stop with this damn foolishness, not wanting the majority of the quarterbacks to be Black and making these Black quarterbacks' lives hell. Watch what I tell you. But what is it going to take? A drought. That's why the big 3 popped up on my TV. We already know the NBA is in trouble. I see these people at this big 3 game. I said it can be done. Unrivaled basketball, it can be done. It will be done. And it might be Coach Prime. One thing about it, we ain't going to know till it's all laid out and ready to go. Because that's how he is. And I was even thinking about Shamar Stewart. I said, hell, Coach Prime has started his own league. He can sign Shamar Stewart and can. You're only playing year by year. That's the reason why the contracts are split across years, because revenue generates yearly, right? Yeah. I was like, if Coach Prime has started the league, he can have Shedeur, he can have Shamar Stewart. Hell, tell me in the comments. We might talk about that tonight. What does Primetime Pro Football League, what does the offense look like? 11. What does the defense look like? Let's look at who's out there, who's available, and draft, damn it. I was like, oh, he could get Shamar Stewart. I was like, he could have Shedeur, he could have Shiloh. I was like, and let me see who else is still unsigned. He could have them too. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I hope we this close to it. I hope we this close to it. And I think all they waiting on is to see what they going to do with Shiloh and Shedeur and the rest of the Buff players. Because I told y'all, let's see who makes the roster. We had 14 go in, right? We down to the last, 7 or 8? Let's see, after the 53 roster is set, who's on the active 53-man roster, who's on the practice squad, and who's just waived and not picked up. And it's gonna tell you a lot. So if Coach Prime can have enough influence to help Travis Hunter get his contract signed, to help Deshaun Jackson get a $20 million bond for Delaware State University, these fishing trips are pivotal. It just tells me if he wants to, he can. And when he wants to, he will. That's what it tells me. Jalen Hurts is a smart young man. Yes. And you see how they hate on him too? You see how they hate on him too? Smart young man, good, comes from a good home. They ain't who they want to talk about. They want to talk about those. Hell, some of them grew up in those environments where Shedeur was. And they still not willing to go out there. That's how damaged this is. You turning your back on the same kind of community you came from. You should be the first one out there. You should be asking him to go with you. But no, he's leading the way. That's why they don't like him. That's exactly why. A lot of what Prime got away with as a player in the NFL was the leverage playing baseball full-time, drafted him. It's a game easier on the body and the pay is much higher. Right. So like I was saying about MLB getting these recruiting a lot of HBCU students, and Ken Griffey Jr. is very instrumental in this, by the way. They just had the Swingman Classic here doing, I didn't even know it was All-Star Weekend for baseball here. It was Beyonce was here for 4 days. It was All-Star Weekend, so I didn't know about it. They were right here at Georgia Tech. I didn't even know about it. Right? But they had Roy Wood Jr. out there. He was asking HBCU students who came out what school they went to. I was like, damn, I missed all of this. So again, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna have somebody out there with a what she said sign and microphone on asking the questions that I want to ask, because I'm one person, right? I'm one person. But these kids that can play baseball and football, I have said it before, you better go play baseball. Your contract is guaranteed. They already been through and are in the midst of trying to recover from a drought. That's where you need to go. That's where Coach Prime went first, believe it or not. Right out of college, they drafted him out of Florida State. Some baseball team. I don't know which one. I'm not going to pretend to know. That's where he went first. And he got paid and he had the money. So that's when he came to the NFL. See, he was a little NIL-ish when you think about it. Think about Coach Prime leaving Florida State, playing baseball, making some money, coming to the league with it. That's why they hated him. He didn't come into the league out of an impoverished situation. He did not. He did not. Neither did his son. Shiloh either. And I think Shiloh, more than anybody, you see him spending. You see that more than I feel like anybody, because just the way he dressed sometimes. Shiloh was up at CU working out, doing getting ready for the combine or the draft or something, get ready for the draft. And he was just standing there, just having a random conversation. I'm like, is he wearing Versace shorts with a Gucci t-shirt? That's when you know you're rich. When you can just mismatch the brands. Because most people don't do that. And I was like, that's what I love about Shiloh. He just him. He just him. He don't hide it. He don't flex it. Like when he gave the Apple Watches away, people had something to say. It ain't your money. Shut up. It was his. Oh, he spent his signing bonus. I'm like, see, you don't watch social media. It amazes me that Shiloh and Shedeur have the content that they have across several social media platforms, and people still don't know them. I don't mean know them personally. I mean, see how they move. You can learn a lot just by watching people's social media, right? I guess they're not on YouTube or Twitch or Instagram. Hell, probably Snapchat too. Alabama State is in the middle of Montgomery. It is, but it's a community around it, right? Tuskegee is kind of out there by itself. It's some houses were around there. I like the campus. It was some, but you got to go down, come off the freeway, go down a long road that winds. That's what I meant by isolated. Whereas I remember going to Alabama State, getting off the freeway, going down a street or two and turning left, and that was the campus. That's what I meant by isolated. Like Prairie View, you got to get off the freeway, turn and go down the road. And it's not as winding and as far as Tuskegee is off the freeway, but it is still isolated back in there. Unless they started building some buildings right off of 290. They did Coach Prime like they did Caesar. What does that mean, Peter? It said Jerry Jones was in one of those photos. Absolutely. And y'all saw how he grinned at Shedeur like a Cheshire cat. And y'all know we talked about the whole Nebraska game, and he waited to sign that. And you see what happened in that game. That ought to tell you why they set it up. There were people at CU, I'm sorry, that were trying to hold this young man back so that when he got to this point, he would make it. I said it. They might not be at CU no more. We hope. But there were. You can be civil. Yeah, you can be civil. Like I have the utmost respect for somebody I don't know, just in the business perspective, Raekwon Smith, for at least negotiating the terms of the contract. I'm like, so the rest of y'all just signing it? It's 32 people in the first round, and less than 5 were holding out. Now, mind you, their contracts are guaranteed, but Travis still held out because he wanted his signing bonus up front, because that's what a signing bonus is. I applaud him for that. Because the rest of these people not challenging it. They just signing on the dotted line. And I'm like, the moment y'all just, if you create a drought or create a situation like these rookies holding out, you know it's impactful. It's the first time it has happened. They refuse to talk about it. They blaming it on Shamar Stewart. He's not the only one. And he said it. I would hate to come out his way and it don't work out. That's the mindset you have to have. But too many of them are scared to death to negotiate a non-guaranteed contract. It's not even guaranteed. And you still act like you can't say, well, let me just say, how many games I got to be suspended first, because I'm not going to just let you get one. Stuff happens. And Raekwon Smith is still in the league. The media acting like NFL corporate minds being silent as a church mouse. Right. Sloppy, they not talking about Shedeur Sanders out here. They not doing that at all. But they want to send somebody over to antagonize him, be it Mary Cabot or whoever that was that asked him, why do people like you? Like, get the hell away from this kid. Y'all not gonna harass him. They have manufactured in Cleveland a hostile, toxic environment for Shedeur Sanders with the lies that Andrew Berry told, right? Kevin Stefanski threw him under the bus right there on camera. How the media know who Stefanski and Andrew Berry prefer? Because they put it out there, they talk. They have manufactured this toxic environment. Oh, he gonna have to talk to the media. So Mary Cabot can be there with the microaggressions, and whoever this little dude was can try to catch him off guard and ask him, try to insinuate, he's nobody because why do people like you? It shows you're ignorant if you don't know the answer to that question. And it shows you're evil if you're willing to ask it in front of other people because you think you're going to humiliate him. Just winging it. That makes for the best content, straight from the heart. Yeah, I might know the topic. This is how I go. When I wake up, I turn on the TV and I'm like, because I was already thinking about something last night. I mean, honestly, last night was where I came with the whole Angel Reese and Shedeur Sanders. I'm like, these damn leagues with the majority black talent, but not the majority black at the top. That's some cheeky shit that y'all doing. Y'all know you trying to cut out the talent because the talent is majority black and you don't want to put the talent on the screen. So you want to cherry pick Caitlin Clark, even though she's not the best. And you want to make it about her because people want to come see her. So they want to come see a game that's not competitive. Or when the Fever are good, they only talk about Caitlin Clark, but she's probably the third or fourth best person on the team. That's facts. Aaliyah Boston, Erica Mitchell, Natasha Howard, hell, Sophie Cunningham. Put her in there. So maybe 5. All right. And they want to talk about assists. Now, that's what pissed me off. I love basketball, right? And I told y'all, when I used to go watch the Hawks, it used to annoy the hell out of me that Trae Young would not shoot the ball. He just wanted to assist. And I said, your nickname is Ice Trae, not Ice Assist. And I'm not coming back here until they get rid of him. And I'm serious. And somebody said it. They always putting out these rumors that they're going to trade him and he's still there. I have not been probably to a Hawks game in two years. I was there a lot. Like really, really good seats. Like could see the players coming out the tunnel and everything. Eating the good food in the back with the little exclusive group. And don't even want to do that. I'm good. I'd rather watch the big 3 because I want to see competitive basketball. I want to see competitive football. So I need another league to come along so I can get it because that's not what the NFL is. They are manipulating the talent in the draft. They have sucked the talent out of the draft. That's what Stephen A was saying after this draft. Okay, so the NFL is not, the draft is not about talent. So what we going to get out there and see? Well, I guess we going to see. Because just like the WNBA, they want to cherry pick who they want to put out there. Okay, let's see how that worked out. Time will tell. And to me, they disregard their black fans. That's what I say. I'm like, oh, okay, so you don't want me to come to the games. Okay. So you willing to squash the black talent, which means you don't respect your black fans. Oh, okay, so these white people going to support you. Well, how did they do with Target? Let me see them hold down Target. Because if they could hold down Target, then they would not be out here running behind Kai Cenat, and he wouldn't be out here chasing down Travis Hunter. There's a particular black CU YouTuber that when you bring up race, he runs from it. Really? He comes off as a shuck and jive type of person. I don't look at him anymore. Oh, I'm not surprised. And a lot of people are in the CU space, not because they're CU fans. They're in the CU space for the same reason they report about Shedeur, because it brings clicks. There are so many fake CU channels. From the automated channels, it's almost like they're trying to disrupt the space with oversaturating the content. That's what it's given to me. I talk about what the hell I want to talk about. And we just happen to be like-minded individuals, and whoever gravitate this way is who gonna stay. And according to YouTube, y'all like me. Somebody stopped by yesterday and said, oh, just keep going. The likes will come. I don't care about that. I don't care about that at all. I did not get a master's degree to give a damn about likes. Believe me. So I'm happy with who gravitates toward this channel and stay. It said I stopped watching when he stated, oh, Taco. Yep, Pete. I know exactly who you talking about. So that's who y'all talking about. Yeah. Going in on Angel Reese. Yep. The Prime Football League. Coach Prime, The Rock, Snoop, Lil Wayne, Michael Vick, Cam Newton, Ed Reed, Paperback, Warren Moon, Doug Williams, Willis Simmons, Charlie Strong. So that's who you think should be involved? Let me know if that's who you're talking about. RG3 and oh, okay. It said I just started the league. No, I want to know who gonna be the talent on the field realistically. Like when I said we were talking about Shamar Stewart, and I was looking into that last night. And I was like, shit, Shamar Stewart could play for Coach Prime, new league, if Coach Prime had a league that was starting. So the players that are like, look, I'm not with this contract, this language, this type of submission, restriction. I'm going to go over here and play for primetime pro football. That's what I meant by put together an 11 versus 11. Hell, I'll take a 7-on-7. I'll take a 7-on-7, but I really want 11v11. I don't know right now if there are 11 players realistically that you would put on primetime footballs in arguable team, and then the teams would play like 10 games, because that's what I already came up with. That I was like, they could play 10 games, and you could take select cities, so kind of like the Big Three model a little bit, with the unrivaled model a little bit, and then kind of work it out. And Coach Prime already know how to do that. He's already had youth football, then he went to Jackson State and made that be good, and then now the torch is being passed off, and CU is what it is. He takes that and put that on primetime pro football league. It's a winner. It's a winner. I would love to see it. Kimberly said the Kansas City Royals. What about them, Kimberly? Let me know. Is that the team you saying Coach Prime played for at first? Let me know. Why are they counting Shiloh's pockets? I have no idea. One person was in the comments that was like, well, and you could tell when people's channels are fake. Well, Shedeur Sanders didn't meet none of us personally. I'm like, you wasn't even out there, so shut the hell up. I'm like, first of all, if somebody had threw some money at you, would you meet them personally? No. I was like, this is not even a person who was out there. That's what people do. They so desperate to smother this young man's progress, success, and impact that they willing to make fake pages or use fake pages or burner pages or whatever you want to call it to add negativity, and it don't catch. That's how good he is. When he said he was a child of God, he's right. That's how I know the NFL gonna lose. I told y'all he gonna get his money. Just let them jerseys keep selling, because I'm gonna factor that into there too. Just let these jerseys keep selling. We gonna want way more than what his first contract was supposed to be. Time will tell what it's supposed to be. I went to Tuskegee, and yes, it is isolated. Oh, okay, Peter, I like the campus, but it's pretty when you get there, but it's down a long road off the freeway. And I forgot I was going to, I don't know, I was going somewhere in Alabama, and I saw Tuskegee. I was like, oh. I was like, I love to visit HBCUs. I said one day I just want to make sure I have enough pictures from all the HBCUs I have visited. And y'all know that Delaware State is supposed to be playing Norfolk State in Philadelphia Stadium. Did y'all know that? They have their game that they're going to play is supposed to be in the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium. I saw something like that. So we're going to get there. It said he turned. Oh, okay. People are having conversations. Okay. It says, yes, those are the founding fathers. Oh, okay. That's the founding fathers of the league. All the people he mentioned. Okay. Kimberly said, yes, it was the Kansas City Royals. Okay. I didn't even know that. I thought it was like the Yankees or somebody. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Salafi. Thank you for the clarity. It said the jersey sales will be the capital for implementing the league. That or a lawsuit. We're going to see what happened first. Facts on these fake Colorado pages. It doesn't take long before they give themselves away. Right. It doesn't. It doesn't. I was like, oh my God. So, I stay consistent to talk about things that I think, that the audience would like to hear. So, all right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast today. Thank you for sharing. Again, the phone number, what is it? 470-471. What I say it was? 470-471. It's the What She Said sports bat phone. Well, when we talk about topics afterwards, you could go back and leave a voicemail, and then we're going to play it on the air, and we're going to talk about it, react to it. I just got to learn the number first. Let's see what it say. Oh, that's the wrong phone. See, that's what I mean. This is the bat phone. 470. This is helping me learn it. 470-471-6721. 6721. 470-471-6721. You can leave us a voicemail about today's topic, and we'll play it on the air. All right, we'll be back tonight, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably drop some shorts and hopefully a video somewhere, maybe in between. Otherwise, we'll see y'all tonight at 9:30. Make sure you hit the like button, that you share. Thank you for all the kind words. Please support the channel between Cash App, my YouTube, it just whatever. Wherever you see the opportunity to support the channel, because we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep growing. Don't make me have to win the lottery first. We know the odds of that are tough, and I don't even play. So this Shanola Girl signing off until tonight, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What She Said Sports. Thank you for tuning in. See y'all on the next episode. Feel free to continue the conversation in the chat. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.